Pisces.
Yeah. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it.
What's your nationality?
Tell me.
Tell you? All right, I'm gonna answer you, but I just want you to see what happened, because us as so-called African Americans, right? Since we've been brought over here, how many times has our identity changed? We came over here, we were niggers.
Right.
Then they said, okay, you're Negro. Then you're colored. Then you're Afro-American, African-American. We didn't become African Americans till the 1980s. So our identity always changes. But do we change? Are we not the same people?
Right.
So how does your identity change? Something is different about us versus everyone else. An East Indian has always been and will always be an East Indian. An Arab has always been and will always be an Arab, right? But us, it always changes. Now we're black, now brothers are saying, oh, I'm Kemetic, I'm Asiatic, I'm all these different things. Read that again. I'm gonna show you what we're teaching here.
Truth.
Truth, read it one more time. Because this is part of the truth that's been hidden from us, right?
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 142.
Bring it out.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
So God said his laws are the truth. That's the truth. When it comes down to it, this whole Bible is about what? Keeping God's laws.
That's right.
It's about one set of people being given a law by God and keeping that law. What would happen if they didn't keep the law, and what they could do to redeem themselves, where Christ comes into the picture, right? So now, give me Isaiah 1 and 3. Can I ask the nationality? So I want to talk about that first. Isaiah 1, chapter 3.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner,
So God said the ox, which is a stubborn animal, right? He knows his owner. Read.
and the ass his master's
The
crib.
donkey, another dumb, stubborn animal. He knows where he belongs. He knows where he comes from. Read.
But Israel,
Who?
but Israel.
Remember, God said Israel. Israel is a people. Now they tell you Israel is a place. No, Israel was a people.
That's
A
right.
man's name was Jacob and was changed to Israel. His name was changed from Jacob to Israel, and he had 12 sons. And the descendants of those 12 sons make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
Bring it out.
That's what they don't want you to know. Think about it. Why is Nick Cannon in trouble? Why did Nick Cannon get in trouble? Because he said you're not a Negro. He said that we're the Israelites.
What?
Why is Amari Stoudemire coming under fire? Because he said we're not Negroes, we're the Israelites. Why did Kendrick Lamar come under fire? Because he said that we're not Negroes, we're the Israelites. The whole world knows that we're the Israelites, but it's hidden. We are the hidden ones on this place, on the face of this earth. That's why they give us all these different names.
See?
Think about it. They don't have to do that to any other nation of people. It's only us. Why? Why do you have to hide it? Why do we constantly have to be suppressed? Because there's something special about us. Read that again, that last part. But Israel?
But Israel doth not know.
So God says his chosen people, Israel, they don't know who they are and they don't know where they come from. For instance, where do we come from? Where do we originate from? Let that go by. Where do we originate from as a people? So you said Africa. Okay, what do you say? Where do we originate as a people? Like Arabs come from Arabia, right? That's their land. East Indians come from India. That's their land. Chinese people come from China. Japanese from Japan. Where do we descend from?
Bring it out.
But she said Africa. Do you agree? Do you say Africa?
I know it's not Africa, but I really can't think of what I want to actually say.
You can't think of what you want to say? Okay, why you get it together? Here's the thing. I used to say Africa too, right? That we're African.
Yeah.
We're Africans. But Africa is a continent. It's not a country. Africa is the largest continent on the face of the earth. It's 300 different people that live on that continent. So then who are we? That's what they tell us just to throw us off. They say, oh, you're African. Where? We came on slave ships. We don't know where in Africa we come from. We don't know. There's many different tribes. They speak many different languages, many different cultures and customs, but we don't know. Here's what the Bible says. Give me that, Galatians.
Galatians chapter 4, verse 26.
Bring it out.
But Jerusalem.
So God said Jerusalem, which we know where Jerusalem is. Let me show you something real quick, just in case you get a thought.
You want
Is
the
this a
maps?
map? Yeah, where's the map? Right here. Come a little closer. Jerusalem is right there. What continent is Jerusalem on? Africa. So the people, the original people of Jerusalem, what color are the people on this continent? Black people, so-called black people. We're different shades of brown, but so-called black people. But now, the people that live over there today, that wear the little hats with the little curls, what color are they? That say that they're Jewish. What color are they?
Bring it out.
They're white. But Jerusalem is in what continent again? Africa. So then, you would call them, wouldn't you consider them Africans?
Make it plain.
Then you'd have to then say that they're African people. Those people descended from, after the Holocaust, from Russia, from Germany. Is that in Africa? Or is that in Europe? What color are the people in Europe? White, so-called white people. Say it again. How you doing, my brother? So my sisters. How you doing, my brother? Reason with us a minute, just to hang around, because we need some of the older men here. You've been around a long time, so listen to what we're talking about now. One second, my sister. So read that, Galatians.
Galatians 4, verse 26.
You say you got a question? Okay, read it.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free.
So God said, Jerusalem, which is above, is free.
Which is the mother of us all.
Which is the what?
Which is the mother of us all.
So what is the motherland, according to God? Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the motherland. That's where we descend from. That's the hidden, that's the secret. That's what's been hidden. I can show you. Do we have Babylon and Timbuktu? Huh? The Holy Sabbath. Tablets. You know what the Holy Tablet is?
In the books.
Show her the Holy Tablet right here.
Say it again.
Show her the Holy Tablet. Hold this up. Sis, this is the Holy Tablet. We've had it the whole time. That's the Holy Tablet. It's been in our grandmother's house the whole time.
Right.
We've had it the whole time, but you know what happened? We were not taught how to read it. Remember, during slavery, what was illegal for us to do? Read. We were not allowed to read. Think about it. Now put our thinking caps on. At that time, what's the one thing that if I was a slave, right? If I was a slave at that time, what would I read if I was allowed to read? What book would I read? Am I going to go read Shakespeare? I'm a slave. What book am I going to want to read? The Bible. I'm going to want to read the Bible. I want to know about God. I want to know why I'm in this condition. If there is a God, and this is a true God, why am I in the condition that I'm in now? And guess what? The Bible tells us why we were in that condition.
Right.
The Bible documents our slavery. Let me say it one more time for everybody to hear me. The Bible documents the slavery of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right. Bring it out.
It's always been written in there. It's always, that's why we were not allowed to read it.
Right.
Give me a minute, hang around, and I'll show you. I'll read it for you. I'll show you exactly where to find it. And it's also on that flyer. Now, my brother, you had a question? No? Okay.
If you want it.
Oh, Babylon and Timbuktu. Read that. I'll show you. Now I'm going to pull a history book. This is Babylon and Timbuktu, and I'm going to show you about our identity and us coming from Africa. Right? It's 784. Read it. Yeah, that's ours.
Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. In the year 65 BC.
So now here's some history, and you can Google this history. This is world history. In the year what?
65 BC. The Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
The Roman army captured Jerusalem. This is world history. Read.
In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
They put an end to the Jewish state, so they overtook Jerusalem. Read.
With great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius.
So between that period, from Pompey to Julius, read.
It has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
Where did the Jews flee? Africa. When you read Luke chapter 21, Christ prophesied this. He said, when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, flee into the mountains. Which mountains? Mountains of Africa. That was normally what we did. Remember, when Christ was born, his father, Joseph, wanted to hide him. Where did they flee? Into Egypt. Christ spent the first 2 years of his life in Egypt. Now, think about it. If Jesus Christ was a so-called white man, what color are Egyptians? Ancient Egyptians were black people. They're Hamitic people. They were dark black. So how would he hide? How would a white baby be able to hide in Egypt? from the Romans, from white people. Does that make sense? No, it's not supposed to make sense. It's lies.
Right.
Keep reading.
During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution.
They fled from Roman persecution, read.
And slavery.
And what?
And slavery.
So remember, the Jews were fleeing from slavery of the Romans, read.
The slave markets were...
The what?
The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. This is world history that I'm reading right now. So what color were the original Jews? Black. Black. You know why they were black? Because they were our ancestors. That's who we descend from.
That's right.
That's who we descend from. Give me that. Give me slavery in the Bible, because maybe you think I'm making it up. But this is Deuteronomy chapter 28. This is Moses speaking to the children of Israel when they came out of where? Just said it. Egypt. Remember, Moses took us out of Egypt. We were slaves in Egypt. So Egyptians and Israelites are not the same people. Remember that. Egyptians and Israelites are not the same people. We were slaves under the Egyptians. Remember the 10 plagues? And then Moses took us out. So now, when we came out of Egypt, this is what Moses said to the children of Israel. Read Deuteronomy 28.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high, above all nations of the earth.
So God said if the Israelites listened to him when they came out of Egypt, he would set them above all nations on the earth. Read.
Verse 2.
No, that's it. Now, we know history. Did the Israelites listen to Moses when they came out of Egypt? No, they didn't. We did not. That was us. We did not listen to Moses when he came out of Egypt. So now read verse 15.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God said if you don't listen, which the Israelites did not, all these curses are going to come upon you and overtake you. Read verse 47.
Verse 47. Because thou servest not.
I'm sorry, 46.
Verse 46. And they,
the curses, read,
shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So they'll be upon you for a sign and a wonder. What's the purpose of a sign? Look, it says Havana Street right there. The purpose of the sign is to let you know what it is. So God said these curses are going to be upon us for a sign and for a wonder, meaning, wow, it really happened? What God said would happen really happened? Read.
And upon thy seed.
And upon your children for how long?
Forever.
Forever. So that means when Moses said this in BC time, is it still applying in 2022? Can I still see the same signs on these people in 2022? Right. So read. Now let me get one of those signs. Give me sons and daughters.
Yes. Deuteronomy 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters.
So God said the Israelites' sons and daughters
shall be given unto another people.
Shall be what?
Shall be given unto another people. And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
And your eyes shall look, and your children are going to be given to another people, and your eyes will fail with longing for them all the day long. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? You ever seen the movie Roots? Remember Kizzy, Kunta Kinte's daughter? Remember when she was sold and he was chasing after the cart and he cried because he couldn't get his daughter back? The Bible says that our sons and daughters will be given to another people, and our eyes will fail for longing for them all the day long. We couldn't get them back. Read.
And there shall be no might.
And there shall be no might, no strength, no military might. Read.
In thine hand.
We couldn't get our children back. Our forefathers, when our children were sold on those auction blocks, we have the pictures. When our children were sold, you see it right there? You see this mother hanging on to her children? When our children were sold, could we get them back? No, that's what God said. This was written thousands of years ago. This was written thousands of years ago. Read.
Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors.
The fruit of your land and all your labors.
Shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Shall a nation that you know not eat up. Who was in Colorado first? The so-called Native Americans, right? They were here first. Read that verse again.
the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So who came and took all their crops and all their cattle and all their land? Now they live on reservations. A nation that they did not know came and did this to them. This was written long before that even happened. Now read verse 58, and I want you to tell me what this sounds like.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So Egypt means bondage. It's a Greek word. It means bondage, right? So God said he would bring us into bondage again, because if you know history, when we came out of Egypt as a nation, we never went back in as a nation. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Wait, how?
With ships.
When we came out of Egypt the first time, we walked. So God said he would bring us back into Egypt, or back into bondage, with ships. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
The same way he said it's going to happen, that's how it's going to happen. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
We would never see our homeland again. Read.
And there ye shall be sold.
And there ye shall be what?
Ye shall be sold.
Ye shall be what?
And there ye shall be
And
sold.
when we came over here into this new land on ships, we would be sold
Unto your enemies.
unto our friends.
Unto your enemies.
I thought we were all equal.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
There, once we got off those ships, we would be sold unto our enemies. Read.
For bondmen
For slave men
and bondwomen.
and slave women. Read.
And no man shall buy you.
And no one would be able to save us. No one would be able to save us. Look at this sign right here. What other nation of people did that happen to on the face of this earth?
Bring it out!
God said that would happen to the Israelites, the Jews. Who else did that happen to? Who else went into slavery on ships and were sold? Think about it. I'll give you a second. Anybody? Did it happen to anybody else? Who? The natives, the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Indians. We're the only ones that happen to. Why? Because we are the Israelites.
That's right.
We are the chosen people of God.
Right.
That's the mystery.
What club was that at?
Admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
But the Zulu nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again, 31.
Now remember, why did God say, so now we know about slavery, we know that why it happened to us, right? For our disobedience. God said it would happen to us. What are some of the things we were disobedient? What are some of the ways in which we were disobedient? Let me Deuteronomy 22. Huh? Not listening. What is that? And before we get that, give me sin. So let me ask you a question. Not listening. What is that called? When you don't listen to God, what is it called? Being disobedient. Read this real quick.
1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committed sin,
Wait, hold on, read slow. Whosoever does what?
whosoever committed sin,
So God said, whoever commits sin
transgresseth also the law.
breaks God's laws. Read.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Because sin is the breaking of God's laws. So now you know by definition, sin is breaking God's laws. That's what sin is. That's what sin means. A lot of times you say, oh, that's a sin. What's a sin? Oh, he did this, I didn't like it's a sin. No. Sin is when God said do this and do that, or God said don't do this or don't do that, and you go against it, that's sin by definition. Now I want to show you some sin that applies to our people. For instance, we have sisters here, right? You are Israelite. You are daughters of Sarah.
That's right.
Okay? You are Israelite women. That's what you are. Where's your father from? Is he from America? Yeah. So-called black American? Yeah. So according to the Bible, you be from the tribe of Judah. What about you? American black? From the tribe of Judah. My forefathers come from the West Indies. So according to the Bible, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. Those are prophecies that we fit. So now let's see some sin that our people committed then and see if they're still committed today. Deuteronomy 22:5, my sister.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5.
Now before you read it. Now, I'm going to show you a sin in the Bible, right? So if I show you this in the Bible, what's your first instinct? are you going to check and say, am I doing this? And if you are you going to change it? You said yes. Now you thought about it. Would you change it? If I show you that God said don't do this, that I hate it, would you continue to do it? He said, oh, my sister said it depends. Come on, sis. Come on. Do you fear God? That's the problem. We have to learn, and you're being honest, but this is the thing. We as a people have to learn how to fear God. Think about it. When you were growing up with your parents, you couldn't do whatever you wanted to do, right? Why? Because they whipped that ass, right? So you got to be mindful of what you're doing. Shouldn't we fear God even more? Because God has the power to take your life. You just get back in the car and God forbid something happens, right? So now let's see what God said. Read that.
Deuteronomy 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear.
Wait a minute. The woman. So God said, this is Moses speaking to the Israelite woman. He said the woman should do what?
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So the woman should not wear what belongs to a man. What do women wear today that belong to men? Boxers? What else? Not sure? Everything. I'll give you a hint. What if I go into a restaurant, right? And I'm going to the bathroom, and I see the men's room sign and the women's room sign. What are the images that I see on the door that lets me know which one is the men and which one is the women? Like a what? Who wears dresses? Men wear dresses? No. Who wears dresses? And who wears pants? Men wear pants.
Make it plain.
Read that again.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So God says, and this is for y'all, right? Because this is what the Bible is for. Like you said, bring out the holy tablets. We bringing out the holy tablets. The Bible says we're supposed to gauge what we're doing based on what God said. God said the woman should not wear what belongs to a man. From ancient times, two-legged garments, as they call them, pants, belong to men. I can show you pants in the Bible. Because no, they didn't wear pants. Yes, they did. Moses was given pants to wear. Moses was given pants, and he used orders to tell the men to wear pants. Right. So now read.
Neither shall a man
put
on a woman's garments.
Put on a woman's garment. Why not?
For all that do so.
Because everyone that do so, even us, read.
Are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Are what?
For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
So it says everyone who does this, is an abomination unto God. What does that mean to be an abomination unto God? It said refusal. What else?
I'm looking for it. Yes, I got you.
Let me show you what it means. When God said to do this is an abomination, let me show you what he means. Read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 15, verse 13. The Lord hateth all abomination.
Wait a minute. But I thought God was love. This is the holy tablets, like you said. What does it say about God? What did God say?
The Lord hateth all abomination.
So how does God feel about women in pants? He hates it. He hates it. Read.
And they that fear God.
And those that, remember I talked about that earlier, fearing God. Those that fear God, read.
Love it not.
Don't love abominations. Don't love abominations. You know why? You know why God said women are not supposed to wear pants? Because you guys are princesses on the face of this earth.
That's right.
You guys are royal. You know what the name Israel means? It means prince of the power. Yeah. So us as black men, so-called Hispanic men, so-called native men, we are princes of God. So what does that make the women? Princesses of God. Do princesses wear pants? Have you ever seen a Disney cartoon with princess with pants on? Think about it. When you were a little girl, you used to think about getting married, right? Did you imagine yourself walking down the aisle with a tuxedo on?
Bring it out.
No, you wore a dress. Because that's the most feminine thing that a woman can wear. These are things that separate women from men.
Make it plain.
This has been changed here. In the land of our captivity, that has been changed. A manly spirit, a masculine spirit has been put on our sisters. Read that.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves.
So now this was what they were telling to teach to our foremothers. Right? They said women should do what?
that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
He said our women, Israelite women, are supposed to adorn themselves in modest apparel. Meaning what? Not be overly sexual. What do you see our women wear now? They want to wear leggings, they want to show off their butt, they want to show off their cleavage. He said crop tops. He said modest apparel. Meaning what? You can have a nice, beautiful dress, but you're supposed to be modest. You're supposed to carry yourself as someone who knows something. But think about it. You ever seen, now we talk about royal princesses, right? The dresses that princesses wear, aren't they nice dresses? Beautiful garments? That's how you are supposed to dress. Read.
With shamefacedness.
Shamefacedness. Our women are supposed to have shame. Like I remember when I was growing up, my grandmother said, "Don't you have any shame? Don't you have any shame?" But when you're walking, you got half of your butt hanging out, you have shame. No, you don't really care what people think about you. But our sisters are supposed to have shame. Read.
And sobriety.
And sobriety. Now, what's something that's legal here in Denver? Weed. Okay, our sisters getting drunk. Our sisters are supposed to be sober. Practice sobriety. Doesn't mean you can't have a drink, you can't have wine in moderation, but you're not supposed to be out here drunk, making a fool of yourself. Read.
Not with braided hair.
Or it's not all about your hairdo. Because we see, look, my sister got the beautiful wool. Okay, we know our sisters get done up. We know our sisters look beautiful, but it's not all about that. That's what the Bible says. Read.
Or gold, or pearls,
or jewelry, read.
Or costly array.
You can have those things, but he's saying it's not all about that. Read.
But which becometh women professing godliness.
But it's about women that profess godliness. How do you profess godliness? In how you carry yourself. Read.
With good works.
With good works. With good works. The works that you do. For instance, you know what today is? What is today? Huh? Saturday. What does that mean? It's just another day of the week? Huh? It's the what? The Sabbath day. It's the Sabbath day. What are we supposed to do on the Sabbath day, sis? You know. What are we supposed to do on the Sabbath day? I can't hear you, so I don't know.
You gotta tell me.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. Let's get it. Let's get the law. Because remember, God said, I'll just read it. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the
Sabbath. This is one of the 10 commandments. We're reading out of the 10 commandments now. Read.
Remember the Sabbath day.
God said, do what?
Remember the Sabbath day.
And do what?
To keep it holy.
To keep it holy. How do we keep it holy? Read.
6 days shalt thou labor.
So 6 days of the week, you're supposed to do all your work. Get all your work done that you need to get done. Read.
And do all thy work. But the 7th day.
But the 7th day. What is the 7th day of the week? Saturday. Sunday is the first day. So Saturday is the 7th day. What are we supposed to do on the 7th day?
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
In it, we're not supposed to do any work. Right? If you can help it. If your job gives you a day off, you don't go and get overtime. Read.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant.
You're not supposed to have anybody else doing your work for you. Read.
Nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth.
Remember, God made heaven and earth in 6 days. Read.
The sea and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day.
So who made the 7th day? God did. God rested on the 7th day. That's why he made it holy. Get that in Genesis. Let me show my sister that in Genesis. Hold that in Genesis. I want to show you, this is not man-made. This is not what I think. This is what God said. God himself sanctified the 7th day, the Sabbath day.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 2. And on the 7th day, God ended his work which he had made. And he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day.
Wait. God did what to the 7th day?
And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it.
Sanctified it.
Because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
In it, he rested from all the work that he created and made. So God sanctified the 7th day, meaning he made it holy. He made it holy. So understand, every day is not the same. The Sabbath day, we're supposed to gather. We're supposed to remember that we're Israel. We're going to leave from here. Our sisters are back at the school now. They're there. They're getting ready to learn. They have their dresses on. They're there with the children. And then we're all going to learn together and then remember the history of our forefathers. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Jesus Christ, Moses, King David, King Solomon. These are our forefathers. We want to remember them on the Sabbath day and then learn a lesson that will get us through the week.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.